Hello, I'm Bob Harris. Welcome to Duraman's educational series for industrial and decorative concrete flooring systems. All right, on our gypsum panel here, in which we've put multiple applications of Scrofino, followed by several coats of Deso dye, it's now time to apply our first application of sealer. In this case, we're going to be using Duraman's A03 water-based acrylic sealer. A word of caution, I do see some people have issues in the industry, not just with this product, but relative to the way they roll and getting roller lines. So oftentimes it's technique, and just by changing a few of your application techniques, you can possibly prevent unwanted roller marks. You can also spray it, that helps. So you could put the product in a pump-up sprayer, and that would be followed by somebody back rolling immediately. So that's another way to prevent unwanted roller lines. But in this case, on the small panel, I'm going to demonstrate a technique that I've had very good success to eliminate roller marks, and that's going ahead and laying it out with a 3/8 nap roller. And once you've covered the panel, you immediately follow behind with a secondary roller, which is brand new and dry, so it has no product, and you can really unify any unwanted roller lines. So you'll notice I keep going back out into the material, and I'm just keeping a kind of a wet edge, if you will, of material. And using this technique, it is not a bad idea to have a second person that's helping, but for demonstration purposes, I'll go ahead and show you. So see how I roll back out into the material to keep a wet edge. And then what I would do is take my dry roller. What I mean, it's not used yet, it's perfectly dry. And watch how it just lays it down perfectly flat. And you're not going to get those roller lines that we're talking about. It's just a good little tip and technique that unfortunately a lot of people are not aware of. And I can literally see those roller lines just being blended right in. All right, we're going to continue. Previously on our panels, we applied Duraman's 803 water-based acrylic. Roughly 4 hours has transpired. We've given those panels sufficient dry time. Now we're going to demonstrate mixing Purdue E32, which is a 2-component water-based epoxy. So you can see we have part A and part B. It is a good idea to always, when you open up part A, especially if it's been sitting for any extended periods, go ahead and mix it. So you mix all the solids back into a solution here, because it does tend to settle, so that's a good idea. Part of this system is what's called an induction period. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our components. Here's our part A, which is 2 parts, to 1 part, part B. You can see the difference in the height of the materials. We're going to combine them in this clean bucket and mix part A and B for 3 minutes. And this is a very important factor with this system. After that 3 minutes mixing, the material needs to sit for an additional 30 minutes prior to using it, and we refer to that as an induction period. That helps all the components catalyze and fully react, and then you're ready to use. So once that induction period of 30 minutes has transpired, you now have roughly 60 minutes to go ahead and apply it. So that's a very large open window of opportunity to apply it. Just a word of caution, after that 60-minute time frame, you really want to dispose of the material. You shouldn't use it. It will stay liquid for pretty much indefinitely. So if you let it sit for 3 or 4 hours, it'll appear that it's still usable. In reality, it's not. So your window of opportunity is 60 minutes. For our panels or our application, we'll be using a 3/8 of an inch nap roller and rolling the material down. Okay, that's our part A, followed by our part B. So it is a good idea, use a stir stick or a plastic spatula or something to get all of the contents of the remaining resin out of the bucket to make sure we have a full 2-to-1 mixture. All right, our induction period of 30 minutes has elapsed. It's now time to apply the E32, which is the two-component water-based epoxy. Now, just to recap, we're going over our gypsum-based grapheno and with deso dyes, and we sealed it first with A03 water-based acrylic. This is dried for 4 hours. Now it's time to go ahead and roll down our application of the E32. It is a good idea. 30-minute induction time has elapsed. I still like to give it another quick stir just to make sure it's all uniformly stirred up here. And then we're going to simply dip and roll. So we're going to use a delinted 3/8 of an inch nap roller and dip and roll. Now, obviously, it's a good idea to wear foot protection, little slip-on booties. You know, you want to keep the surface nice and clean. This is for demonstration purposes for the use of this video here. This product is temperature sensitive. What I mean by that is you can see on the surface how it has a white appearance. Obviously, if it's warm inside, the whiting will clear back out quicker. Conversely, if it's cool, it may take a little bit longer for this to clear out. Our panels that we installed, E32 water-based epoxy, have dried now for for approximately 5 to 6 hours. Now it's time to mix up our water-based polyurethane, which is U46. This is considered a gloss. It's a 4-to-1 mix ratio, meaning 4 parts A to 1 part B. You're going to go over the top of the E32. Now, if you have concerns about a high traffic area like a restaurant or coffee shop, somewhere where there's a lot of abrasion, you may need to consider the use of putting down 100% solids epoxy prior to this. So the process would be, at least on our panels, we would have went with AO2 water-based acrylic. That dried. Then we followed behind with E32, which is the 2-component water-based epoxy. Once that had the sufficient cure time in high traffic areas is when you would apply the 100% solids epoxy, and of course that would dry for a minimum of 10 to 12 hours or the following day, and then you would come back over the top of the 100% solids epoxy with your U46. Now the U46, as I mentioned, is a gloss. Duramen does have a matte version of this, and it's U45, which is also a very attractive finish if you don't want to have that high gloss appearance. So we've already weighed out our 2 components. We've put our 4 parts A, you can see here, and our 1 part B, so it's already pre-calculated out. You can see the difference in the volumes of each. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine the 2. We're going to dump the B part into our A, and we're going to mix for 3 minutes. Once we've mixed for 3 minutes, we are going to apply this product over the top of the E32 on our radiant heat panel and also on our Scrofino panel. All right, we've mixed our U46 2-component polyurethane, and we are now applying it over the top of our E32 water-based epoxy. And on these panels, this will be the last application, and we'll call these panels completed. We're using a 3/8 of an inch nap roller to apply the product. If you can, I do like to do a nice tight back roll. Works great if you have 2 people applying. So what I'll do is I'll complete this panel, I'll roll it out, and then I'll roll perpendicular just to reduce the chance for any roller lines. All right, we just finished back rolling the U46 2-component gloss polyurethane, and that concludes our demonstration over the top of gypsum with our Scrofino floor.